What is going on, YouTube? It is Dominic Arena again, and I am back with another guitar review. So I want to talk to you guys about this Jackson I just picked up. It is a Pro Series Monarch Les Paul style guitar. And originally, I wanted to demo this particular guitar in this video, but I still need to do some neck adjustments, so I'm going to have to do a demo on a separate video. So just to warn you guys right now, this is just going to be a review. I want to talk about the pros of this guitar, some things that I'm disappointed with, why I bought this guitar over, say, an Epiphone SG around the same price, and kind of tell you the difference between the Pro Series and the JS22. So the Jackson Monarch is kind of a weird guitar from Jackson. When you think Jackson guitars, you think metal, right? You think like metal, thrash, death metal, all that stuff. And normally I would stay clear of most metal guitars. You've probably heard me talk in certain videos about I'm a Strat guy, and I play hard rock and blues. You know what I mean? But I've owned a couple Les Pauls. Never had a Gibson. Can't afford it. So, but I've had some Les Paul clones. I've had the Epiphone Les Paul. Actually, I've actually had the Epiphone Les Paul Custom, which is kind of like what this is going after as far as the scheme. But I'll tell you why at the end I decided to pull the trigger on this Jackson over the Epiphone, being a hard rock blues guy. So first off, let's talk about the pros and the differences. So like I was saying, Jackson, this is kind of a weird Jackson. When you look at Jacksons and you think of like the Soloist and the Dinkies, there's 100 fucking models to choose from. There's a ton. But with the Monarchs, there's two, and that's it. You have the JS22, which is the entry-level one, and then you have the Pro Series. There's no like in between, and there's no like USA made one. So the JS22s are gonna run you around $200, right, for a basic paint job. And then if you want like a limited edition, they have like a red stain. They have like a veneer quilt top. It's gonna cost you about an additional $100. So $300. Then you jump to this guy, and this guy, MSRP on it is $850. So it's a big jump. You go from basically $200 to $300 to $850. Now I got this on sale through Pro Audio Star Music for $500. So I had to grab it. I was like, oh my God, this is a great deal. Now, Jackson currently does have this on sale. So if you go to their website, jacksonguitars.com, currently, as of the date of this video, it's on sale for $627. Weird number, must be a clearance. $627 US, and that's over $200 off, right? So let's talk about the differences. So first off, this one here, it is an arch top. It's a real subtle arch. It's not as arched as your traditional Gibsons. To me, it's a little bit more subtle, right? But one of the advantages of the Pro Series is this is a mahogany body with a maple cap, just like a Les Paul. So this does have a true maple cap on it. You don't get a maple cap on the JS22. It's just a mahogany body, okay? Because of the maple cap, we come around here. You can see we got white binding. They did a great job with the binding. I don't see any like dips or cracks in it. So the fit and finish of that is that I'm happy with it. This is what they call a cat eye input jack. When we come up here, you're going to see a lot of heavy binding right here. So that's one advantage to the Pro Series. Next is 2 volumes, 1 tone, and then your 3-way selector is actually in the traditional Les Paul spot. On your JS22, this is in replace of the second volume. So you only get 1 volume, 1 tone, and then this is your 3-way switch. So double volume on this, I like that. I like having the ability to turn down the pickups to clean them up. Now here's one of my first kind of cons is you're looking at this, you would think this is that volume, this is that volume. It's reversed. And at first I thought it was a wiring issue from Jackson until I saw another one. And that's the way they set it up. So that's weird to me. I might actually go into the control cavity and see if I can unscrew these and flip them, if I have enough wiring to do that, enough play in the wiring. But it throws me off every time. I go to adjust this volume, kind of knock it down, and I'm actually knocking this guy down. This one is that one. Fucking weird, I know. I don't know why Jackson did that. Gold hardware on this. This is the satin black. We're going to talk about the fingerprints and shit. The neck is an upgrade on this model. So the neck is an ebony fretboard. Ebony and rosewood is becoming more and more rare as far as the trees go. So they're starting to become what they're calling premium fretboards. I remember 15, 20 years ago, you could buy a $200 guitar and it had a rosewood fingerboard on it. Not anymore. Now they're using stuff like Powell Faro or Laurel to try to keep costs down. Ebony's getting the same way. So I was happy to see an ebony neck on this, or I'm sorry, fretboard, where that does not come on the JS22. It's bound in white to kind of match the binding on the body. But another thing this model has is a set neck. I was very happy about that. That is very traditional Les Paul. So the way they did this, the way they did the paint, how the paint just kind of stops right there, but the way the paint is over here and over here, you can't see the joint. So it almost has the appearance of like a neck through body, but it is definitely a set neck. So bolt-on neck on the JS22. You got a nice little cutaway there. There's your control cavities. There's my fucking fingerprints. So the neck is maple. It's a maple neck. And I don't know this for sure, but Jackson's kind of known for doing oiled necks. I don't think there's a satin finish on this. But I could be wrong. I think it's just an oiled neck. But let's talk about these fret markers. This is exclusive to the Pro Series as well. This is what Jackson's known for having the shark fin inlays, but normally they're white. On here, they're just outlined, and then the wood kind of shows through the middle. Jackson calls these ghost fins. I like this a lot. I think that's super sharp looking. Now we're going to get to the headstock, and I'm so happy on this headstock. I'm glad Jackson has this headstock on this model and not the traditional Jackson headstock that goes like that, okay? Reason why is look at the string. Here's your nut. It is a plastic nut. The strings, when they go past the nut, are 100% straight to these tuners. If you've ever played a Les Paul, and so I know a lot of Les Paul players that bitch about this, the D and the G string, the way their headstock is, it goes up on an angle to reach the tuning pegs. Because of that angle, if you do some heavy bends on these two strings, it doesn't even matter where you do it, throws that string out of tune ever so. It either makes it slightly flat or slightly sharp, and you find yourself having to tune those strings almost after every song. Don't have to worry about that on a headstock like this. I think PRS does this too, where there's no bend in the strings. There is an aftermarket component for the Gibsons. It's a DP string guide. It mounts like here and hooks up to the tuning pegs, and it pulls the string straight and then flares it out to the pegs. That to me is just another fucking thing you gotta buy. I love the way Jackson did this headstock. I thought that was great. Tuners. Locking tuners on the Pro. Love these tuners. These are Jackson branded. They're gold. You don't get locking tuners on the JS22, so that's a huge upgrade. You will also notice that this is made in Indonesia. So the Pro Series is made here. The JS22, I think, is made in China, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody knows, let me know in the comments. But I think the JS22 Monarchs are made in China. So little history about Jackson, in case you don't know. I'm sure you guys already do. But back in 2002, Fender bought Jackson. So Fender owns Jackson and Charvel. And because of that, the Indonesian guitars are made in the same factory as the Squires. They also make certain Jacksons in Japan. They do make Jacksons in Mexico, just like the Strats. And they make them in the USA in the Corona, California factory, just like USA Strats and Tellys. So yes, it's basically the same people working on this as Squires, okay? Another thing about the neck, and this is on the JS22 as well, is this neck, along with your truss rod, you got your truss rod, there's your truss rod adjustment right there. Along with your truss rod is two graphite bars that run through this neck, okay? There's no adjustment on the graphite. There's no slots cut to see the graphite. So the way I'm figuring it is the slots are cut on the top. They install these graphite rods, and then they glue the fretboard on top of it. Those graphite rods are there to help keep the neck true. So keep it straight, keep it from warping or twisting, because on Jackson guitars, they run an extremely thin neck. This is what they call their speed neck. Now, this is not the thinnest neck I've ever played. I think it's a hair bit bigger than, say, an Ibanez Wizard neck. But it is definitely a shred style neck, and that to me is the best part of this guitar. This neck is one of the best necks I've ever played on. It's also a compound radius. So the scale, okay, the scale is traditional Les Paul. So from the nut to the bridge, 24.75 inches, traditional Les Paul. But the radius of the fretboard from the first fret to the 14th fret is 12 inch, just like a Les Paul. 14 down is 16 inch, stupid flat, flattest that I've ever played. Especially being a Strat guy playing at 9.5. So you could feel it, right? It feels pretty much Les Paul up here. You get up here to play some of your higher notes, and it's very, very flat and a little bit faster feeling, probably because of how slim this neck is. Excellent, excellent neck. Here's the biggest thing, save the best for last, on the Pro Series is Seymour Duncan pickups. On the JS22 model, you get entry-level ceramic Jackson branded pickups, and they're extremely high output, something I don't like. This is a 59, Seymour Duncan 59. This is a Seymour Duncan JB. Great combo. I love this combo. A 59, for those who aren't familiar, is pretty much that PAF tone, modern. So basically they run a little bit more modern output to it. It's not very vintagey, more of a modern output, but they are wax potted and sealed, where your original Seth lovers are not. The JB, the only way I can explain the JB is if you've ever played a Seymour Duncan jazz pickup that has a little bit more of that bite. This is warm, this has more bite. Think of a Seymour Duncan jazz hot rodded. That's what this pickup reminds me. So the balance between these two is phenomenal. I like to play on the neck a lot, get my blues licks, my blues rhythms. Come here, balance my volumes, get a nice rhythm, flick it here, go off that bridge, and that thing is just bam, it's in your face. It's aggressive. Downfall is this paint job. Oh my God. It is a fingerprint magnet because it is satin finish, right? And as you guys saw in the back, look at it, there's my fingerprints from when I was actually sweating, right? It's not doing it now because my hands are dry, right? But look, I've only put maybe an hour and a half on this guitar. That's it. And I am scratching the shit out of it already. This right here is not a scratch, but I don't know what the hell was rubbing there while I was playing. I have no idea. But right there, I'm actually shining it, is what I'm doing there. Is I'm actually buffing it right there where there's a shine. You guys could see that on camera. But here, I'm scratching the shit out of it, and I know that's probably from my bracelet rubbing on it. This thing scratches if you look at it wrong. Now, to me, I don't care. I love natural wear and tear on a guitar. It gives it character. But I know a lot of guys, I got friends too, that their shit's pristine. And if you're like that, you like pristine, you polish your guitars, all that good stuff. I'm not saying abuse it, but you're going to hate this paint scheme. You're going to hate it because, like I said, I got maybe an hour and a half on it. The other thing that really disappointed me on this guitar is, you know, granted I paid $500 for it, but it's still an $850 guitar. Worst setup out of the box ever. This bridge was slammed. It was slammed all the way down. Basically, the strings laying like that and sounded like that. So, raise the bridge. I had to do a little bit of a truss rod adjustment because I did get this guitar shipped to me all the way from Virginia to Arizona. I knew there was going to be a little bit of neck bow. I expected it from the climate change. Not mad about that. But you mean to tell me somebody set this up from the factory and slammed this bridge where there was absolutely no clearance on any string? I was very disappointed about that. And then get this. This cracked me up. I was scratching my head for about a half hour because I could not get these 3 strings tuned. No matter, I had the clearance, I couldn't get these strings tuned. I was about to box it back up and return it. I thought there was something going on with the tuners. The bridge was kinked. I had no idea. So what I did was, as I took a picture of the guitar, really close up, took a picture, zoomed in, and believe it or not, some asshole at the factory had these 2 strings swapped. So the D string was with the A and the A was within the D. So when I was trying to tune it with a tuner, right, I'd get it up to pitch, but this string would be stupid slinky. This one would be tight as shit. And then you try to chord on it and it'd go out of tune like no tomorrow. How the hell did that get past QC? Blows me away. I've had better QC on $150 guitars. This one is damn near pushing $1,000, and you had this bridge slammed and the string. So I had to take the strings off and I put on a set of Ernie balls, but I do still have a little bit of buzz. It's playable. Like I said, I put like an hour and a half on it. I got a little bit of buzz right about here. So I need to do a little bit more of an adjustment here and maybe tweak this side on the bridge a hair. That's another reason why I'm not demoing it today, is because I don't want you guys to hear that. But let me tell you the last part. Why I bought this guitar over the Epiphone. An Epiphone Modern. Let's just say an Epiphone Modern. Those go for about $700, right? Give or take finishes and shit. Reason why I got it was these pickups are fucking amazing, and the feel of this neck. Those 2 things alone is why I bought this over the Epiphone. Now, would I buy this at full price, $850? I'm going to tell you right now, no. I wouldn't buy it at that price. At $500, yeah, I'd buy it again. At the current price Jackson has it, $627. Would I buy it? Probably. One last thing I want to mention is it comes with strap locks. I was excited. This was actually in the box. So the strap buttons are actual Dunlops. I didn't know that, but you could see the hole right there. These are Dunlop strap buttons, and it came with the strap locks to throw on a strap so you could lock your strap to it. So that was a nice That was a nice little extra from Jackson. So that's it, man. If hopefully I could get this thing finely tuned, and I'll put a demo up on YouTube. I usually do a lot of 1 minute demos on my Instagram. So hit me up on Instagram. I'm going to put my handle in the description below. But if you guys have, if I miss something on it, because I'm just kind of rambling, this ain't scripted or nothing. If I miss something and you have a question, hit me up, man. I'm pretty quick about responding back. One last thing I will mention, there is no coil splitting on this. So there is no push-pull pots. It's just a true humbucker Les Paul style guitar. But that's it, man. I like it. I have some quirks with it. Very disappointed with Jackson's QC slash setup. Maybe because it's a pro series. They're like, yeah, well, this guy's a pro. He'll fucking set it up himself. Who knows? But that's it, man. Sorry that this video ran long. And if you stay till the end, you fucking rock. And we'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Take it easy. Bye.